A massive leak, more than 11 million records, is shedding light on how dark money flows through the global financial system.
Boîte noire des paradis fiscaux, caverne d'Alibaba de l'évasion fiscale.
These types of offshore entities have been used for decades.
Système d'évasion fiscale touchant des hauts responsables politiques.
Чорний скандал. Міжнародний консорціум журналістів опублікував масштабне розслідування
coinvolti capi di governo, imprenditori, politici, personali.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is EAB21103 and our group will present about Hsbc money laundering scandal case study. Let's begin with our presentation. At first, I'm going to talk about introduction to accounting fraud. Accounting fraud is a dishonest behavior with potentially serious implication for individual and organization. We will look at the different aspects of accounting fraud and how it affects financial reporting today. Basically, accounting fraud is the deliberate manipulation of financial statement for one's own or an organization benefits. This dishonest behavior can take many different forms, such as inflating income, understating costs, inflating assets, and hiding liabilities. So let's discuss a few typical accounting fraud examples. First, extending sales transaction. One method is extending the time frame for documenting sales transaction beyond the official month end. This temporarily boosts investor confidence but has long-term consequences, understating revenue in later period. Second, understating expenses. Another tactic involves understating expenses to showcase strong financial results. While this may seem beneficial, it raises moral and legal questions and requires immediate tax payment due to higher taxable income. Next, manipulating asset valuation. Changing the value of asset is a strategic move. This involves cutting costs by lowering the capitalization limit or manipulating asset values by ignoring the depreciation expenditure. And for the last one is covering up liabilities. Business may also cover up liabilities by holding on to supplier invoice until the end of the month, presenting an inaccurately good financial position to stakeholders. Next, I'm going to talk about the things that related to my case study, Hsbc's money laundering scandal. Tone of the top. The term tone of the top, which frequently used in auditing, describe the manner of leadership if a company's management and board of directors, as well as their dedication to morality and honesty. A company's corporate values and cultural environment are reflected in the tone of the top. The tone of the top at Hsbc was a major factor in the money laundering scandal. Unintentionally, the leadership's strong focus on profit produced and a culture where financial performance took priority over morality. Due to the emphasis on financial objective and cost cutting, compliance and anti-money laundering laws were neglected. Senior management's tone shaped organizational behavior and decision making, favoring financial gain over ethical issues. The corporate culture of Hsbc was found to be the primary factor contributing to non-compliance and money laundering incidents. The prioritization of profit over ethical conduct resulted in systemic flaws that made money laundering activities possible. To solve these issues, corrective action were implemented, including appointing an executive legal officer to strengthen internal control. Also, an attitude change toward morality and accountability was started. The importance of the tone of the top in improving organizational behavior is demonstrated by this case. It emphasizes how important management is in establishing priorities and providing an example of moral conduct for the entire organization. Okay, next we discuss about asymmetric information and its role in the Hsbc money laundering incident. Asymmetric information occurs when one party in a transaction has access to more or better knowledge than the other, giving rise to challenges like adverse selection and moral hazard. In the case of Hsbc, asymmetric information played a crucial role in illegal operation. Executive and staff had knowledge of illegal transaction and money laundering operation that was concealed from regulators, the public, and even other members of the company. A good example of this was when Mexican police informed the CEO of Hsbc Mexico in 2008 regarding drug cartels, assertion that Hsbc Mexico offered the greatest solution for money laundering. The fact that this knowledge wasn't adequately shared or used led to a situation where parties outside the organization know less than those inside. The efficiency of regulation and monitoring is reduced by asymmetric information. It becomes more difficult to detect and put a stop to criminal activities when regulatory authorities do not have the same access to information as the companies they are in charge of. Regulators were not fully informed about Hsbc's involvement in the money laundering case because of the company's dishonesty and limited disclosure. Okay. To address this issue, it's crucial to improve transparency, simplify reporting procedures, and encourage efficient communication between regulatory bodies and financial institutions. Then, let's explore the role and responsibility of the board of directors as outlined in the agency theory. The agency theory helps in our understanding of the dynamics between the board and shareholder, which is important for corporate governance, especially when it comes to reducing conflict of interest. In terms of corporate governance, the board of directors is essential since it supervises decision making by management and speaks for the interest of shareholder. Let's examine how these ideas related to the money laundering scandal involving Hsbc. The Hsbc money laundering event in 2012 brought out significant weaknesses in compliance and anti-money laundering regulation, so raising question over the board's oversight responsibility. According to the agency theory, the board is responsible for monitoring business activities, ensuring strong anti-money laundering and compliance procedures, and safeguarding shareholder interests. However, the Hsbc case reveals structural weaknesses in the board's governance responsibilities. One more crucial responsibility is risk management. The company's finances, reputation, and legal compliance were negatively impacted by the board's failures to identify and address the serious concerns caused by the money laundering activities. The board must ensure that management decisions synchronize with shareholder expectation. Hsbc's inability to prevent money laundering went against shareholder expectation in terms of ethics and legislation. In the aftermath, corrective action were taken, including strengthening internal control and appointing a chief legal officer. This highlights the board's crucial role in resolving issues, implementing improvement, and restoring the company's management. In conclusion, the agency theory eliminates the challenges boards face in supervision, risk management, ethical leadership, alignment with shareholder interests, and corrective action. The Hsbc case serves a stark reminder of the importance of effective governance and ethical leadership in preserving financial institution integrity. Okay, next we go to the impact of human bias and personal interest using the agency theory. Let's explore how these factors led to non-compliance with regulation and ethical lapses within the bank. The Hsbc incident showcased the agency theory, emphasizing the role of individual bias, the role of human bias, and self-interest in the bank's failure to comply with regulation and anti-money laundering procedures. According to the agency theory, conflict of interest and information asymmetry can lead management to act against the best interest of shareholder. In the case of Hsbc, human bias, particularly the pursuit of profit, took priority over ethical consideration. Hsbc's corporate culture prioritized financial success over ethical behavior, facilitating the bank's involvement in criminal activities such as money laundering for Mexican drug cartels. Next, insufficient governance within Hsbc, including a lack of staff in the compliance unit, allow financial consideration to override regulatory compliance. This shortage may have resulted from cost-cutting initiatives, enabling illegal activities to persist. Following the crisis, Hsbc made the necessary correction, hiring a A-level as chief legal officer and paying executives who had been involved in non-compliance. The goal of this measure was to address the bias and personal interests that power the crisis. By using the agency theory, the Hsbc case highlights how pervasive human bias and self-interest are. The prioritization of profit, conflict of interest, regulatory oversights, and inadequate compliance caused the collapse of ethical regulation. In conclusion, Hsbc money laundering crisis serves a stark reminder of the challenges in balancing the interests of principal and agents to maintain financial integrity and corporate governance. The Hsbc's corrective steps highlight the importance of prioritizing ethical behavior and overcoming human bias to prevent future occurrence. So the last point is fiduciary duties of the board of directors and the crucial lessons learned from this case. The foundation of corporate governance is the board of directors' fiduciary duty, which highlight their duty to act in the company's and shareholders' best interests. So let's examine the difficulties of fiduciary responsibilities within the framework of the Hsbc cases. Directors have a responsibility to maintain appropriate operation monitoring, risk management, and compliance. Due to serious compliance problem and a record 1.9 billion fine, the Hsbc board developed according to the fire for its insufficient oversight. Next, prioritizing the interests of business and its shareholder over personal one is required by the duty of loyalty. In the Hsbc case, concern about a possible breach of the duty of loyalty were raised by a corporate culture that prioritized profits over moral behavior. A fiduciary obligation is to make sure that all applicable laws and rules are followed. When Hsbc acknowledged laundering money and violating laws, questions were raised regarding the board's commitment to maintaining morality and legal compliance. Finally, the Hsbc money laundering scandal teaches us a valuable lesson about the complicated framework of fiduciary duties that directors have to manage in order to protect the company and its stakeholders. In a changing financial environment, the case emphasizes the necessity of cautious and proactive board dedicated to the highest standard of the fiduciary responsibility. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Amri Karumin bin Marawi. In this video, I will be presenting answers to question 2. Without any further ado, I will be explaining answer to question 2A. So, how the fraud operated? The Hsbc bank facilitated money laundering for drug cartels and violated sanctions against certain countries. So, who are involved in this fraud? The Hsbc, of course. Primarily, its US branch, the Hsbc Bank USA. And the cartels involved, the Mexico Sinaloa and Colombia's Norte del Valle. And other clients that involved is the high-risk individuals and businesses engaging in illicit activities. So, what is the type of fraud? The type of fraud is the money laundering. Over 881 million USD in drug cartel money was processed through Hsbc accounts. it disguised as legitimate transactions. The sanctions violations, Hsbc knowingly bypassed US sanctions on countries like Iran and Libya by conducting business with them. So when is the fraud exposed? The illicit activities spanned several years but came to light in 2012. So where the fraud take place? Primarily through Hsbc's US branch and its subsidiaries in Mexico and other countries. So how the fraud was concealed? First, the weak anti-money laundering AML controls, in which Hsbc failed to implement proper due diligence on clients and transactions, allowing suspicious activity to slip through. Second is structuring. The cash deposits were broken down into smaller amounts to avoid triggering AML reporting requirements. The third one is the trade-based money laundering, in which the shell companies and fake invoices were used to disguise illicit funds as legitimate trades and transactions. And next, I will share my answers for question 2B. While there wasn't a specific whistleblower who directly alerted authorities to Hsbc's money laundering activities, several entities played crucial roles in uncovering the scandal. The first one is US Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigation, the PSI, in which 2012 the PSI released a scathing report exposing Hsbc's extensive money laundering lapses. And second is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the FinCEN. The FinCEN, a US Treasury Bureau, received numerous suspicious activity reports, SARS, related to Hsbc transactions. And the third one is Media and Investigate Journalists. The International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the ICIJ, and other media outlets received leaked documents from a former Hsbc employee, Herb Falciani. And the fourth one, the regulators, in which, as we know, the US Department of Justice, the Federal Reserve, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency conducted their investigations, building upon the findings of the PSI and the FinCEN. In essence, while a single whistleblower didn't initiate the Hsbc revelations, a combination of persistent investigations by the government, agencies, and media scrutiny, and leaked documents collectively brought the scandal to light. And finally,
so today I would like to present about the pressure, opportunity, and rationalization of those perpetrating the fraud. Firstly, the pressure of those are financial pressure, organization pressure, and psychological pressure can all contribute to the rise of the fraudulent activities. Financial pressure can incentive individuals to seek illegal financial gain, while organizational pressure can create an environment where unethical behavior is tolerated. Lack of internet and AML system can also facilitate fraudulent activity. Psychological pressure can also influence individuals to justify their action, leading to rationalization and justification. An audit's role is to assess fraud risk, identify potential, and reflect and evaluate internet control effectiveness. By understanding this pressure, auditor can better protect financial system and prevent illegal activities. Second, about opportunity. The passage highlight the weaknesses in Hsbc internal control. For other things, insufficient compliance regulation, understaffing, and less oversight, which allow individuals to bypass safeguard and process illicit transaction. Employee handling financial transaction and customer information can exploit this privilege for illegal purpose. Large banks like Hsbc handle a large volume of transactions, making it easier to hide illegal activity within the flow of funds. The last one is rationalization. The author suggests that personal financial gain, career advancement, pressure to meet performance target, and a competitive banking environment can motivate individuals to engage in a fraud. A culture that normalizes the event can lead individuals to justify their action believing they are not serious wrongdoing. Moral relative can also be a factor as individuals may compare their action to other perceived wrongdoing, minimizing the ethical implication. That's all from me. I pass to net presenter.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hsbc and I will present about the effect of the scandal to the auditor, company, management and the shareholders. The Hsbc money laundering scandal had significant implications for auditors and the broader financial industry. Some potential effects include 1. Increased scrutiny on audit practice. Regulatory bodies and stakeholders may intensify their scrutiny of audit practice, leading to a more rigorous examination of financial institutions and their compliance measures. The second one is a reputation damage for auditing firms.
Right, where is he?
Whoa.
Where is he?
What?
Well, what on earth do you call this? You don't like it.
I do.
Shut up, Jamie. Now look, listen to me.
Where's my
Say, my son looks like an ape.
Look out, madam.
Excuse me.
Have you got any
Excuse
idea
me.
how long it took me to grow that? I have no idea. Nearly 2.5 years. And your mate drops it off.
Auditing firms associated with the Hsbc scandal might experience damage to their reputation. Investor and client may question the effectiveness of their audit procedure, potentially leading to a loss of trust. And the last one is tightening of regulation. The scandal could lead to the implementation of stricter regulation and standards in the auditing and financial sector to prevent similar incidents. Auditor may face increased pressure to adhere to and enforce this regulation. The next one is for companies. Okay, first is financial penalties.
Having to pay fines in the US is Europe's largest HSBC, who've agreed to a penalty of a record-breaking $1.92 billion. The London-based firm has been probed for illegally moving funds for drug traffickers and money laundering in countries including Mexico and Syria.
Hsbc faced substantial financial penalties as a consequence of the money laundering scandal. The bank agreed to pay billions of dollars in fines to settle charges related to inadequate anti-money laundering controls. These penalties had a direct impact on the company's financial position. The second one is reputation damage. The scandal led to a severe blow to HSBC's reputation. The public disclosure of the bank failures to prevent money laundering activities damaged its image as a responsible and trustworthy financial institution. Rebuilding trust with customers, shareholders, and the public became a considerable challenge. And the third one is increased regulatory security. The money laundering scandal subjected HSBC to heightened regulatory scrutiny. Regulatory authorities worldwide, including the US Department of Justice, imposed more stringent oversight on the bank operation, demanding improvement in compliance and risk management practice. Next is the effect to the management. First is leadership changes. The scandal prompted changes in HSBC management. Executive and top-level leaders responsible for oversight and compliance face scrutiny and accountability. Resignation and replacement occurred as part of effort to address the issues and restore confidence. The second one is reputation damage for management. Executive and management face reputational damage due to their pervasive role in the money laundering scandal. Public trust in the competent and ethical conduct of HSBC's leadership was eroded, and individuals in top position had to navigate personal and professional challenge. And the third one is legal and personal consequences. Management face potential legal consequences and personal liability. Investigation into individual action and decision-making process were part of the fallout from the scandal. Legal action and fines against key executives were possible depending on their involvement or oversight responsibilities. HSBC money laundering scandal also have effect on shareholders. And the first one is financial loss. Financial losses. Shareholders experience financial losses as a result of the significant fines and penalties imposed on HSBC due to the money laundering scandal. The payment of this fine directly impacted the bank's financial performance, affecting shareholder value and dividends. Okay, the next one is stock price volatility. The scandal contribute to increased volatility in HSBC stock price. Negative publicity and the potential for further legal and regulatory consequences led to fluctuation in the stock market, impacting the values of shares and creating uncertainty for shareholders. And the last one is dividend impact. Shareholders might have seen changes in dividends payouts. The financial strain resulting from fines and the need for operational changes could influence the bank's ability to maintain or increase dividends, affecting income or investor. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much.
And finally, for question 6, the one major wisdom that I gained from learning about the HSBC money laundering scandal is the profound power of collective actions in revealing the system wrongdoing. No single whistleblower, journalist or investigator brought down this financial giant. It was the synergy of persistent inquiries, leaked documents and public scrutiny that shone a light on the HSBC's dark underbelly. The cumulative force of individual voices and collaborative investigations that can truly expose the truth and demand justice. So never underestimate the power you hold, and remember that by working together we can shine a light on even the darkest corners. Thank you very much.